everybody, my name is Christine. I hope you're all enjoying the new planner season. I have personally been obsessed with watching and searching for these 2025 planner setup videos, at least for the past month. So I thought I'd make my first video on this topic as well. So in 2025, I will be in the Twines Paper Weekbook Hybrid. I got it in the color Sage, as you can see. In the past, I was in the Sterling Ink Common Planner. I'm going to show you a little bit of comparisons between that planner and the new one. But just as a disclaimer right up front, I know there is some discussion on Twines Paper and their customer service practices. I just want to give my very quick 2 cents on this. I am not someone who goes into planners earlier than January 1st. I might, duplicate like the previous December monthly if it's available, just for continuity's sake. But I am not someone who personally will go into it in November or December. So I know that if that's you, that's probably very frustrating in terms of, you want your planner when it was expected. So I totally understand that, their customer service practices may not have been as impeccable as other small companies. So I really do understand that. That does not bother me. I probably would not have really been in this planner earlier than now anyway. So that's my stance. I know she had just some personal things going on and that I actually personally relate to. I'm currently 8.5 months pregnant with my second child. So I have chosen to kind of give her grace in this aspect. And that's just my personal take on where I stand. Just to be completely clear, I ordered my planner after the first pre-order release. So I ordered mine on July 30th. It did not ship till November 4th, and I did not receive it until November 19th. Like I said, that really doesn't bother me. There was, of course, excitement and anticipation about receiving this planner, but I am barely in it now. If I received it a month earlier, I probably would not have been in it anyway. So it really didn't affect me as a consumer. I know just a little introduction on me in case it helps you understand how I use my planner. I own my own business and I have a kid. I have another kid on the way in a few weeks. So my weeks are sort of on like an A-B schedule. I have days when I'm mostly a stay-at-home parent. I have days when I am a business owner working full-time. So that's how I personally use my planner. About the Sterling Ink 2024 Common Planner, that planner really worked for me. I think it was the first year in my life where I did not planner hop. I did not even feel interested in planner hopping. I wasn't really looking for a better alternative. So I will show you very quickly. I stayed in this planner for the whole year, and it really worked for me. I used more of the notes pages than I ever expected I would. So the reason I am switching as of this year is not really because there's anything wrong with the Sterling Ink Common Planner. If for some reason this Twines Paper planner does not work out, I'm probably just going to go right back to Sterling Ink. I was very, very happy with their product. If you know anything about Twines Paper, you know that there is one spread that they have added into their Weekbook Hybrid that I was really interested in. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that in a second. But I do also want to let you know, I'm not going to do an unboxing. It's all clearly, you see it's already unboxed. I'm not doing a flip through. There are plenty of channels that have done flip throughs. I've seen at least 3 or 4 at this point, so please go check those out if you are interested. I am just going to go over a few, kind of what my plan is for the pages, especially the first few pages. Just to let you know, a couple of notes. I do want to make a note compared to the Sterling Ink. Okay, first of all, this gold edging. So on top you see, this is my common planner, very well used, very well loved. The gold edge obviously does change over time as you use it and bulk it up. This is the Twines Paper gold edging. So I also have the 2025 common planner here. This is the new one. So the gold edging, as you can tell, it's a little different. This is the old one. This is the current 2025. This is the 2025 Twines Paper. I will say the Twines Paper gold edging is glittery. The Sterling Ink Common Planner Gold Edging, not glittery. There's nothing on my fingers when I touch it. It's pretty clean. It's never bothered me. This one, there is definitely glitter when you touch it. I don't know if this is something that might just go away. You know, maybe it's like the first layer of gold edging or something like that. But that is something you should note. There is gold glitter in a lot of places, on my desk, on my planner. This is definitely coming off currently. Oh, oops, there is a Post-it. So that is just something to note. If glitter drives you crazy, I'll show you a little bit in better lighting. If glitter drives you crazy, that's something to note about the Twines and Paper Gold Edging. It's definitely qualitatively a little bit different than the Sterling Ink. My guess is that over time, that also will not bother me. I'm kind of hoping the glitter will just go away. If I see glitter on my hands or on my desk, it's not the end of the world for me personally. Like I said, I have kids. There's just a lot going on everywhere here. So that is just something to note about the planner, just for your reference. And finally, before we get started, the cover I am using for the Twines and Paper, I did not order the clear cover from Twines and Paper itself. I honestly just didn't even think about it. But I had a spare B6 full year clear cover from Sterling Ink that I wasn't planning to use going forward. And I just kind of had it. And I just tried it out when the planner arrived, and it is working beautifully. It's working perfectly. So, and actually there's a little bit of room to spare, which usually is not the case with Sterling Ink. Like if I had bought a B6 full year clear cover, my guess is it would have been a little bit tight. But because this Weekbook Hybrid is a little bit smaller, or a little bit thinner, I mean, than the Sterling Ink B6 full year clear cover, it's actually working perfectly. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so like I said, just to, I may be flipping back and forth a little bit with my 2024 Sterling Ink planner, just to show you how I'm adapting some of the pages that I need into Twines and Paper in case like an identical page is not available. But I'm not gonna be like flipping through my 2024 Common Planner. So this really, I just want this to really be about the Twines and Paper because that's what I'm interested in and that's what I'm really looking forward to. Okay, so let's get started. These are some of the stickers that I've collected in the past month that I was thinking maybe I'll use it here and there. I am not, just a disclaimer, I am not a sticker person. I am not a decorative planner. I am very much a functional planner. And so these are, I am not like a vinyl sticker collector or a kits user at all. I do one highlighter and my pen. That's really the way I plan. So just some of the stuff that you see, but this is also the planner freebie that came with Twines and Paper for monthly taps. I'm thinking about using the abbreviated versions for the months. Okay, so I already put the sticker down that we received from Twines and Paper. I don't really, I'll probably put a few more stickers up here, but it's not that high of a priority for me. So this year, I probably will not be using this like the way I use it with my Sterling Ink. So if you look at my Sterling Ink, for my 2024 full year calendar, I use it a little bit of a tracker for my workouts. And then I bought the 2024 extra calendar pages, full year calendar pages, and I use it to track 2 other habits. So whether I'm eating sugar that day and whether I drank alcohol that day. Obviously I have been pregnant for, a big chunk of this year. So this was not as interesting to me this year. However, for 2025, I am planning to not use the full year calendar for that purpose. I'm actually going to be using this yearly overview tracker to map all 3 of those habits. So I'm probably going to break this section up and just break it into 3 different rows. I'm sorry, just blanked out. 3 different rows, and then just tracking all 3 of those habits here. In the past, before I became a mom, I used to track, 10 habits, 15 habits, just really trying to get into it. But since becoming a parent, tracking those many habits when my time wasn't necessarily my own became really disheartening over the years. So I've really pared it down to 3 habits that I think is something that I'm interested in improving in myself, whether I'm pregnant or postpartum. And those are things that I kind of have in my control on a day-to-day basis. So those are the 3 that I focus on. Hopefully in the future, when my time is a little bit mine again, I hope to go back to tracking more and really kind of working on like a self-improvement, mindset. But right now, I'm just trying to survive. So that's what my yearly overview will be. And in here, I plan to track the year with my vacation dates. We follow the school calendar for work. So I pretty much know when we'll be open, when we'll be closed for the whole year. I plan to track my period, if it does come back, my cycle. And then if there's any, vacations or anything like that, I'll probably start tracking it in the 2025 yearly overview. On this section, I really have no plans. If you can see in pencil, I wrote very lightly just how many boxes are across and down, just for reference. It's always good to know. I might try to put that in a little bit more permanently in the future. But I was thinking of just using this kind of as like a photo, like collage, maybe my kids in quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, something like that. I have not yet in my mind. I don't mind blank pages. If there's, nothing I can really think of, I'll probably just leave it blank. But it would be a nice way to just kind of have a quick glance at who I am, what this planner is to me. So that's the general plan as of right now. This is, like I said, my 3 habit trackers. So trigger warning, just in case this is something you are not interested in. In this 2-page spread that's blank, I am not an indexer. I'm pretty minimal when it comes to what I'm tracking and planning. So I don't need a full index, but I am going to use this as a weight tracker. So I know with my first kid postpartum, when I was breastfeeding for a long time, I could not keep weight on. And I know that's that might be a little bit triggering for some moms out there, who I know that's not the case. So, that's why I am putting this disclaimer. But I could not keep weight on for a long time. So I just thought it would be interesting. It is not a weight loss tracker. That is certainly not my goal in this next year, but just to keep track on trends, how much breast milk I am producing versus what that does to my weight. Those are always things that I've been interested in. So I'm going to track the weeks on the bottom, and then just weight wise, on the y-axis, and just enjoy kind of like just seeing how the year plays out. So like I said, weight loss is not the goal. Breastfeeding will be the goal for the next year, but I just thought that's an interesting way to use this page. So for these monthly trackers, I plan to use it as a reading log or like a book tracker. So in my 2024 Common Planner, that's actually how I actually set up my own reading log that in retrospect is very, very similar to this one. So this is kind of how I plan to use it. I mark it when I start a book and I mark it when I end the book just to see how long it takes me. If I DNF the book, did not finish, I'll also mark that. If I take a break, I also mark things like that. But this was really fun for me this past year to track. This was my first year making a reading log. So I just figured this is the perfect setup to use for that. Also because, I don't do like a yearly tracking or a monthly tracking in any habit sort of way. I just thought I'll use this in terms of reading duration, and then I'll maybe make some notes on what I read, the book I read, the title, and maybe a rating. If it doesn't all fit in this box, I will probably flip to the end, start at the last notes page, and then just start a list, which is kind of what I did in my Sterling ink as well. The books I read in 2024. I am currently on number 30. Okay. In my monthly trackers, I was a little bit stumped, to be honest, The Sterling Ink has awesome quarterly goal planning pages, and I guess this is kind of the Twines and Paper version of that. So I want to use this as a quarterly goals, monthly goals page, but it's not exactly set up the way Sterling Ink is, as you probably know. Sterling Ink is very much, in a quarterly setup, right? A whole page for goals, a whole page for tracking for that month. So that's kind of what I'm going to do here. I think I'm going to translate it a little bit. So what I plan to do is, it turns out I don't really have many quarterly goals. I think I'm more of a monthly thinker in terms of goal setting. So what I'm going to do is just list a few quarterly goals up here. I'm just going to draw some lines for myself, make it very, very simple. And I usually only have 3 or 4 things that I kind of want to accomplish that quarter. But I do have a lot of things I want to accomplish every month. And so the way I broke down my quarterly and monthly goal setting this past year was I did non-date specific tasks. So if it's a date-specific task, like future planning, that all goes in my Google Calendar. I do not future plan in my planner. I don't like it when plans change, and I can't change it on the planner because I wrote in pen, and I refuse to write in pencil because I hate the way it kind of smudges on your hands. That's just like a personal pet peeve I have. So I want my planner to be pretty solid in terms of plans. Obviously, on a daily, weekly basis, things change. I'm not trying to be a perfectionist here, but oops, that's a little eraser marking. But I don't like it when I have to dramatically change things in my planner. So what I do is non-date specific goals. I'm probably going to write in this box. And then the wins of the month that I maybe didn't really expect, things come up during the month that I have to resolve quickly as a business owner. My kids accomplish things that I'm really proud of, just things that I did not expect and did not future plan. I'm just going to write it as wins in this section. In this middle section, where it's mostly a tracker, this past year, I tracked my son's sleep. If you are a parent, that might either be not a problem for you or a huge part of your life. For us, it's a huge part of our lives. His sleep really affects our sleep. He is not an awesome sleeper. He is not a long sleeper. He has very low sleep needs. So I tracked his sleep this whole past year, to some surprises, some not so surprises. But regardless, it was just kind of an experiment to see if there's trends, if there's anything that we can improve on, if there's anything that's in our control that we can work on. So that's kind of what I did this past year. I don't know if that's realistic for me with 2 kids, or if that's really going to stress me out. If it stresses me out, I'm going to stop doing it. It's not worth it for me to try to micromanage things that are out of my control. So I'm going to leave this section for that purpose in case that's something I do want to do. Track my sleep, track my son's sleep, or my other kids' sleep. However, if it doesn't work out, like I say, I will abandon it very quickly. I will just use it goal setting, writing fun things that happen, maybe something like that. So I'm going to be very loose and flexible with myself. If I do not end up using these kind of tracker pages, that's completely fine. I'm not worried about that part at all. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Goals Brain Dump. So if you know anything about Sterling Ink, you know that she has an awesome goals, like a goal setting page. I loved it, and I plan to do it again this year, and I'm going to use this page for that. I think it's perfect. But the way she does it is someday, 1 year, half year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily. That worked for me because I watched a video from, her name was PaperMe. I'm gonna link her below. I love her videos. She hasn't been posting as much, but the reason I love it is because she kind of explained it to me in a way that just made so much sense to me. She said that page has to be broken up into manifestations, milestones, and habits. So things like daily, weekly, monthly should most likely be habits, things that are in your control, things that you can mark off on a daily, weekly, monthly basis and say, I did this, and it's going to bring me closer to some of my milestones. So in my mind, half year, quarterly are milestones. Things that I cannot necessarily control on a daily basis, but if I keep up with my daily, weekly habits, it will bring me to milestones. And then those milestones, if I reach enough of them, will bring me to my someday manifestation of what I envision this area of my life will be like. So as an example, let's see. I'm not going to show you my 2024. It's kind of a mess and there's a lot of personal information on it. But I had a milestone that I want to be more comfortable with cooking. That's a manifestation. I am not a great cook. I do not enjoy my time in the kitchen. I do it out of sheer necessity. I need to feed my kids, so I need to cook them something. So my manifestation was, I might never be a home chef. I may never be a home cook. However, I have a group of solid recipes that my family enjoys and I do not mind making. It is not a big time suck of my day or week. And it's something, and I have a good repertoire of recipes, basically. That is my manifestation. My milestone will be that once a week, I want to try a new recipe. And I want to eventually start collecting those into kind of my, one of my regular recipes that I can fall back on if I'm kind of stuck. Right? So that is my milestone on a quarterly or monthly basis. So then my weekly or daily habits have to be once a week, I have to sit down and meal plan, right? I have to have maybe 2 recipes, one new and one that I'm very comfortable with that I'm going to be making this week. And if that new recipe turns out to be something that, we all enjoy and I don't mind making, it'll become part of my regular routine. So that is my weekly habit. Sit down and meal plan, grocery shop, obviously. And then my weekly habit will be to cook 2 times that week. That recipe that I'm very familiar with, and then that new recipe, right? And I have to, block it into my weekly routine and my schedule. So that is the way that I have been, did my goal setting this past year. And, I have not hit all my goals, but I have actually hit a lot more of them than I expected to. So those 3 ideas, habits have to turn into milestones, which have to turn into my manifestation. That is the way I think about this, and that's the way I will be using this. So I'm probably just going to break this up into someday, 1 year, half year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, whatever, however that kind of breaks down in this 2-page spread, and that's the way I'll be doing my goal setting this year. Okay, goals progress. I honestly have no idea how I'm going to use this, but in my 2024 Common Planner, I did have a place to look ahead to 2025, right, this coming year, and I just listed out the 12 months, and when I knew there was something coming, I would write it in, January 2025. So I am due with my second baby in January 2025, and I had written that in my January section. I have no idea how to use this spread. This 10% progress map really doesn't do anything for me. 10% seems very arbitrary and just felt very out of my control to track 10% progress. So I'm probably not going to use this section at all, but I will probably use this as a 2026, like looking forward to 2026, and then just writing things that I know are expected to come up in the months of next year. So that's going to be a very useful page for me. I used it pretty well in 2024. So instead of making my own kind of page in the notes, I'm just going to use this section as such. And then we go into our monthlies. Monthlies, like I said, I don't like to future plan in my planner. Like, no, I use my monthlies as a memory keeper basically, and just like very small things that happened this day, I'll write it. Just so when I look back at the month, I know, oh, look, I did this and this and this, and that's kind of how I use it. So that is the way I will use it this year. And then we get to this kind of like dashboard for the month. So on this, there's only 1 page they give you. So I know on this one they gave you 3. I think that's because this is the end of the year, so maybe like a yearly reflection. So I might use that here. But on a monthly basis, it looks like she only gave you 1 page before the new month starts. So this is the last week of January, and then the February dashboard of this page, and just one empty page. So I actually do a little bit of monthly review, like reflections and outlook on the next month. I don't write it. I used to write it, and then I became a mom, and it wasn't really working out for me as well as I thought. So what I do is actually I type it out and I just print it out. It helps me journal more. I love handwriting. That's why I have a planner. But I remember like by page 2 of a journaling session, I would just be tired and didn't want to do this anymore. My handwriting would suffer and I wouldn't journal as much, right? Like the quality of my journaling would suffer because I was forcing myself to handwrite, a journal entry. And I know that's very counterintuitive because YouTube loves journaling, and I love it too. I love looking at it, but it's just not for me. So what I do is I actually do it on, I made myself a little bit of a template just that fits in the B6. And I would, so in my 2024, if you can see, I do a review and then monthly outlook. I print it out, and I just kind of stuck it on the notes page. So I think I'll do some variation of that. I think I'll probably journal a little more than can fit here. So maybe I'll, just stack it or tape it in or something. But I do love that practice, that monthly practice that I have of journaling, even if it means that I'm typing my journal entries out. So I plan to keep that up, and it really helps me kind of reflect and reset for the new month. And then this, the new month dashboard. So I think this month, this month section, I'm just gonna write some fun dates that we have, right? So like, let's just say, for example, Thanksgiving, Christmas, holidays, trips we have planned, things to look forward to in terms of work or something like that. So I think I'll just use this as kind of looking forward to. But I did love having a gratitude practice once upon a time. I completely fell off my gratitude practice. I did it for 5 months and I just kind of fell off. So I don't plan to. It was just hard for me to kind of keep that up. But I'm hoping that since this is already set up for me, and I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself, I might just go and try a gratitude practice again. Like I said, if this is something that really stresses me out and I can't keep up with it month after month, I'll just stop. Continuity is important to me, but not important enough that journaling should be a stressful practice. This is something that, I want to enjoy. It's like a hobby. It's one of my main hobbies since becoming a mom, since I've had to give up a lot of other things. So I love having a planner. I want to keep loving having a planner. So if anything stresses me out, I'm just going to stop it. And I will rethink about what to do with this page in the future. But for now, I think I would like to try a gratitude practice and maybe like a 1 line a day if my kids did something fun or there's something I really want to remember my husband said or something like that. I think I'm going to give that a shot. I don't sound very convincing of that, clearly. I'm not entirely sure what that's going to look like or how much I can keep it up. I'm not in my planner every single day. In my ideal scenario, I sit down for like half an hour and I planner in the morning every day. In the evening before I go to bed, I sit down for half an hour or an hour and I planner and memory keep and keep up with my journals and things like that. I cannot do that right now. I'm just not in a season of life where I have that available to me. So sometimes I have to back plan a week. I have to write down notes in my phone and then just kind of dump it into my planner, once a week. That I do have time for and I can do. So that's the way so maybe I'm in it every other week, every other day. So that's kind of the way my planner is being used right now. I still love it. I plan to keep it up year after year, but that's just not, I just don't have the time in my days to be sitting down with my planner every time I want. So we'll see what this becomes in the next coming months. Okay. And then I'm just gonna, I'm sure you've seen this, but the whole lovely thing about this Weekbook Hybrid is we have a horizontal weekly and a vertical weekly for every week. So there's a 4-page spread for every week of the month. So this is what was missing in my 2024 Common Planner, right? I am very comfortable. I'm a vertical planner. I'm very comfortable with this layout. this is the first time probably in my life I'm going to be trying a horizontal layout. So I think the thing that drew me to this page was I always, I don't mind my planner being a little bit messy. Like, I don't mind having scratch notes in here and lists and brain dumps that do change. But I didn't want that to be in my vertical page. I wanted my vertical page to be a pretty good layout of my week, so I can see where there's gaps and where I can see that I have time. I have a big chunk of time this morning or something like that. So I didn't like always having to cross out and put things in different spots. So just for example, this is kind of how I use my 2024 Sterling Ink. I have work days, I have off days. This is a work day. So things just kind of have to fit in. This is where my kid's in school for a little bit, so I can, have a little bit of time. And then this is kind of what I started doing this past month when I just had, I have a lot of things going on in Q4, obviously, to prepare for this baby. So I have been trying to be a little bit more flexible with myself in terms of like, these are things I'd love to get done this week, but there's no guarantee it's going to get done. So I'm very comfortable with the way that I used my vertical planner this past year, but I would like to be a little bit more comfortable with this page. So I am envisioning, I think this page will be a little bit more of a messy planning area. When things come up that I know is coming up in 5 months, I would love to flip to this page and just write down, there's something that I have to do this whole week, or this day I have, a doctor's appointment for my kid. And then this is like a running to-do list of the week. That's kind of how I'm envisioning this page. I don't know if that's going to work. Like I said, I've never done it before. I'd love some ideas. I've been watching Hobonichi Week's setup videos to see how other people use their horizontal weekly, because I know this is such a popular spread. So I have a little over a month before I have to start this planner for January. So I'm going to keep watching those videos and enjoying them and just kind of getting some more ideas on how to use a horizontal weekly. But right now, that's kind of what I'm envisioning. But I'm a time blocker, so this page never worked for me. But because I have another page that I can time block the way I'm very comfortable with, I am hoping that this page kind of evolves into something that's very useful and functional for me, especially with 2 kids coming up. I imagine there'll be a lot more lists and like to-dos and to-buys that I'm going to have to kind of list out. Right now, a lot of that goes into digital planning. So I have like a notes that I just brain dump things all the time, especially when I'm out and about, because I don't carry my planner all the time. And then this page, I envision will just be lists, small things that happened, kind of maybe even stickers one day. I don't know. I'm not really a sticker person. I'm much more of I need to write things down to remember it. So that's kind of what I'm envisioning. I would love to see how this transforms over the course of this year, because this is my first foray into horizontal planning and just having like a weekly notes page, which the Sterling Ink does not have. So I'm really excited for this, but I'm also a little bit stumped, if you can't tell. So if you have any ideas, please leave them down below. I know these 2 boxes exist. I was thinking for meals, because I do currently track my meals, like what I'm eating, what I eat for lunch and dinner every day. Breakfast is kind of like whatever. Breakfast is not a big deal. I pretty much eat the same thing every single day. My kid does too. But lunch and dinner, I would love to kind of keep an eye on and maybe be more intentional about, because a lot of, especially in this pregnancy, it's been a lot of like, I pick up something on the way to work. So, that's not as fun to track. But if I had like, on this day, I'm going to do leftovers for lunch, and then this day I'm going to meet a friend, like something very like intentional, I would love to keep a little bit better track of that here. Okay, and then finally, last but not least, we do have 150 pages of notes. So like I said, I actually so there's 120 pages, I think, in the 2024 Common Planner. I'm a compact, I don't need 300, I'm not a daily planner at all. But I actually use like 95 pages of that so far. And we're a week before Thanksgiving. So my guess is 120 pages will be more than enough. That I've shocked myself with how many pages I use. But like I said, I did paste in 3 pages worth of monthly reviews every month. I had a few like work pages that I used every month. And then I would print out the Sterling ink dashboard every month and just kind of stick it in here because I thought they were so beautiful. Like, I loved having that. And that worked for me because the next whatever number of pages was that month's notes. And I would go to December, use that, right? So it actually really worked for me, and I used a lot more than I expected I would. But with the extra horizontal weekly planning page that's available, and the monthly dashboard that's also available, which Sterling Ink does not have, I imagine I'm going to use a lot less notes pages this year. And that's fine. Like I said, blank pages really don't bother me, especially with like notes pages. But, you know, I do have a few collections here and there that I'm thinking about using. I love mapping out like weekly cleaning routines, you know, whether or not I'm sticking to them, or like ideal weeks, because I'm a very A-B day kind of planner. So things like that I do kind of map out. For childcare purposes, it's always great to have a little bit of a map. My kid will be starting school full-time, 2025 September. So that's going to change my kind of like weekly routines as well. I'll have another baby. So of course, maybe we won't be on a routine, but it's certainly going to change the way my weeks look. So that's kind of what I'm planning to use these pages for, you know, work notes, just things I need to quickly scratch down. This is usually on my desk, whether I'm at work or whether I'm at home. So I'm going to be very loose with this. I don't journal in here though. If you're interested in like my journaling practice, that's something maybe I'll make another video on. I don't know. But yeah, I don't really journal in here, and I don't really look back on these once the year is over. I keep them because I love having them, but I'm not, this is not something that I will be archiving at all. So it has to be very functional for me. And I think that's why I don't spend a lot of time decorating or, being very eloquent, because I don't tend to look back on these planners once the year is done. Okay. And then I know there's some contacts pages. I probably will just leave this blank. I have it all on my phone. I'm not trying to memorize phone numbers at this point in my life. That's my planner for 2025. I am a one planner girly. I do memory keeping a little bit here and there. So if you do want to see my planner stack, please leave a comment. I would love to know what you guys are interested in seeing. I don't know if I'm going to be making more videos. We'll see how things go. This is my first venture into this world, but I love the planner community. This is like, I've found my people. My husband makes fun of me all the time, but you know what? You speak to me, these videos speak to me in like a very funny way. I love getting ideas. So if this is something that interested you and you'd love to see more of, please let me know. I'd love to make more if this is something that you're interested in. Please let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have, if you're in America, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving next week, and a wonderful holiday season for everyone around the world. This is my favorite time of the year, not just because of my planners, but this has always been my favorite time of the year as things wrap up and new things are starting, and this kind of transition of family and holidays and new starts and new year, new me ideas come up. This is my favorite time of the year. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the year. But I do hope to be back before that happens. So please let me know about future video ideas that you'd love to see.